Racism in Canada. I know, a white guy talking about racism, eh? Well, when I go off on my little tirades or my little dissertations, they are based on, I think I said this in earlier videos, they're based on personal experience, personal observation, and in some cases, personal study. In other words, real life, not academics. Racism. What is racism? I didn't like the dictionary definition. I thought about it on my own, and I personally define racism as a blanket characterization or condemnation of an individual or a group based solely upon their ethnicity or color. To me, that's racism. By that definition, racism is not the sole purview of the Caucasians. I'll get into that. I am probably one of the most egalitarian people you will ever meet. Working as a tradesman, I was exposed to people from literally all over the world. I've worked with Japanese, I've worked with Chinese, I've worked with black people from the Caribbean, from different islands. I've worked with Eastern Europeans, Western Europeans. I've worked with a great variety of people. In the trades, you stand or fall on several criteria by which I assess the people with whom I work. There's the basic respect that one human being accords another. Okay, that's a base level, level one. In the trades, next, are they a good tradesman? Hard worker, good tradesman, respect, tech, check box, up another level. Do they do their fair share of the work? Yes. Checkbox, more respect. Then it is personality. Are these people you would go out with after work for a drink? Or are these people that quite content, work environment, work with them, amicable, civil, but people you would not socialize with given an option? You would have no other contact with them. That's it. Those are the criterion by which I assess the people I work with. Color never enters into it. Color is totally meaningless to me, and actually to a lot of the people I worked with. So when I hear racism, I've been accused of being a racist. I will get into that. Does it exist? Absolutely. But is it the sole purview of the Caucasian? Absolutely not. I have met Japanese racists. I have met black racists. I have met Chinese racists. I have met Aboriginal racists who will condemn anybody solely based on their race. They don't know you, they've never talked to you, you are automatically condemned strictly because of your race, your skin color, whatever. That is racism. I deride racism and racists. I have no use for them in my country. I hate them. Quite honestly, I find them close-minded and dangerous and evil people. Rotten people, terrible people. I hate racists. But like I said, I've been accused of being a racist. I watched racism and the threat of racism used as a stick. I have watched the politically correct, the liberal left, embrace racism, white guilt misplaced, and in many cases misnamed. And this is not my Canada. This is not my Canada. I grew up in an era where casual racism was the norm. I love the changes that have occurred in society where we've become more sensitized to racial issues. We've become more careful in our phraseology. I want to see middle of the road. We have gone way over the other way. Now, I have seen the racist flag flown where it was not appropriate. And I will illustrate what I mean. again, personal life experience. The local Loblaws, I was shopping, this is some years back, and I'm getting into the lineup to pay for my groceries, and I see this black guy running with a big bag of groceries, being chased by one of the middle-aged ladies, checkout ladies. Well, he ran out the door, and his bad luck, he ran right into a cop who was checking license plates. Saw the guy being pursued, grabbed him. When I paid for my groceries and exited, the cop had the guy over the cruiser who was putting the bracelets on him. I swear to Christ, the guy said, "Nothing better to do but hustle the poor black man." What has your color got to do with it? You were a thief. You were arrested for being a thief. Color had no bearing in this at all. If you were black, if you were white, if you were East Indian, if you were Asian, you were a fucking thief. And for this, you were arrested. But wave the racist flag. Try to make it about race. No. This is the danger. And Islam is doing this now. This is why I protested so vigorously against M103, the bill, Islamophobia. Now you are condemned for valid critique of Islam and some of its precepts and tenets. No, you can't do that. You're Islamophobic. No, it's not. It's a logical, cold assessment of a threat to our society. So Islamophobia is bullshit. Are there people who hate Muslims strictly because they're Muslim? Yeah. And that, I hate that too. That is not my Canada, and that is not the Canadian value of tolerance, of mutual respect. Mutual respect. Okay? But the whole issue of racism, of Islamophobia, these things have been grabbed by the liberal left, who, quite honestly, have a serious disconnect with Canadian people and a serious disconnect with practical reality. So they use this. I'll give you another example of where I saw the racist flag being flown where it was not appropriate. I'm on the bus, and there was this attractive mixed race girl sitting there, well dressed, reading a book. Well, one of the, I don't know, wannabe gangsters got on. You know the kind, with the baseball cap on sideways, and the big loose floppy clothes. Fashion statement, cool, that's fine. You want to dress like that, that's fine. The loose baggy droopy drawers, the oversized sports jersey, the whole thing. And he's standing there, because there's no sitting room, he's standing, hanging on to the bar, looking at this cute mixed race girl, well dressed, reading a book. I'm sitting like right the other side of him. He starts trying to chat her up. I don't blame him. She was seriously cute. And he's trying to chat her up. He's barely articulate. He was close enough that I could tell you for a fact, hygiene was definitely not big on his priority list, personal hygiene. Basically, totally out of her league. Totally out of her league. Like, she was just... from the way he was speaking, I would be willing to bet that he was a high school dropout, if he even made it to high school. Like I said, barely articulate. He's trying to chat her up, and I'm listening to this, and I'm thinking, buddy, I felt sorry for the kid, quite honestly. I understood his attraction, but he had no idea how to talk to her, how to find a common ground to which to strike up a conversation. She was civil. She was trying to, slough him off. She's reading her book, but when he'd ask her a question, she'd respond monosyllabic answers, but clearly, buddy, you're dismissed. Jesus wept. Does she have to hit you over the head before? Take off. This is not going to happen. You could almost see the relief in her eyes when her stop was coming up and she rang the bell, got up to go. And he basically took his last shot. He says, well, give me your number, maybe we can go out. And she said, no, thank you, quite politely. You know what this asshole said? You don't like me because I'm black. Buddy, she's mixed race. Okay, obviously. It had nothing to do with your color. You're an idiot. And I watched that. There's the illustration, real world illustration of what I'm trying to get to about racism. It's been used opportunistically to try to guilt Caucasians, play on white guilt. I don't have any personally. Like I said, I'm an egalitarian person. I've watched the concept of racism being abused. And in fact, there are voices within the Black community saying, no, like, come on. You know, you can't keep blaming other people for your failure to thrive. You can't keep blaming white people or other people or the government for the fact that you are not availing yourself of the opportunities that are there. You can't blame others for your failure to take advantage of the educational system. You can't blame other people. So rather than take responsibility for the fact that you're screwing up your life and you're failing, no, you know what? It's because of my color. I'm being held back because of my color or because of my ethnicity, because I'm Middle Eastern, because I'm Chinese, whatever. And it's bullshit. Personal responsibility. The sociological factors that go into this, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not a sociologist, nor an anthropologist, nor a social re-engineer. What I talk about is real world, real life, what I've seen, what I've witnessed. And it disturbs me because I'm seeing Caucasians buying into this fantasy, into this bullshit. Because I'm white, I'm automatically guilty. You're guilty of fuck all, other than perhaps crass stupidity. But have you ever abused a person of a different ethnicity? Did you take slaves? Did you take advantage of someone because they were not Caucasian? No. Then where's the guilt? I get pissed with this. It's contrary to the tolerance, to the mutual respect that characterized my Canada growing up. Okay? Like I said, there was always an element of it. There always will be an element of it. There will always be those who, for whatever reason, either from learning or from experience or whatever, will deride other people, other ethnicities. There will always be the haters. They are sadly endemic to every society. It is not Canadian, and it is not fair, and I will not take responsibility for something I haven't done. And I would urge everybody of every ethnicity, don't get caught in this trap. Don't get caught in this lie. Open your eyes, be reasonable, be logical, be fair. Fairness. That's my take on racism. Comments, good or bad, more than welcome.